At 9 o'clock, I'm going to go ahead and call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, BJ.
Next I have is the approval of today's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve today's agenda.
I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. It's 9:01 now. I will go ahead and open the public hearing on the amendment to Article 23 of Ordinance Number 29. Nope, I'm on the wrong page. Public hearing, I am on the first consideration of the amendment of the article.
Actually, Lance, do you want to go up and approve the minutes?
I was reading the one earlier.
No, you're fine.
So now I have is the approval of the minutes of 8/10/2020 emergency meeting.
I'll make a
Lance,
motion
I'd
to
make a
approve.
motion approving the minutes from August 10th, 2020 emergency meeting.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, this was our meeting that we had in emergency. We deviated from Iowa Code Chapter 21 because of the severity of the storms that came through around 11 a.m. on Tuesday morning. And we wanted to make sure we got this declaration handled quickly so we could get aid and assistance to the residents of the county as well as the cities and townships to start getting them back on the grid.
Any other discussion? Hearing no more, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion approved. Next is approval of claims for payment of 8/12/2020. I'm going to ask that the ones we got, let's move this to after we recess and come back. The ones we got, I couldn't read. I don't have the copy that I can read. I can read the dollar amounts unless you guys got them.
I did not.
It's in a different format.
Right.
This
The
time
format
around.
wasn't.
Right.
So you can get a copy of that and go back to 1 o'clock
Okay.
after our 1 o'clock meeting.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you, Lance.
Okay.
So next is the first consideration of Amendment Article 23 of Ordinance Number 29.
Lance, I'd make a motion to approve the first consideration of amendment to Article 23 of Ordinance 29.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call.
BJ,
Aye.
Renee,
Aye.
Lance,
Aye. Motion carries. Next we have on here is if we would choose to waive the second consideration of Amendment 23 of Ordinance Number 29, Article 23.
I would make a motion to waive the second consideration of amendment to Article 23 of Ordinance 29 at this time.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call.
BJ,
Aye.
Renee,
Aye.
Lance,
Aye. Motion carries. Next we have is to set the time and date for the final consideration and adoption of the amendment to Article 23 of Ordinance 29. Suggested time 19th, next week.
Make a motion to set August 19th at 9:05 for the final consideration and adoption of the amendment to Article 23 of Ordinance 29.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? It'll be at what time?
9:05.
9:05. Okay. And in the regular board meeting or via Zoom?
Well, it'd be at the regular board meeting, which
Okay.
is on Zoom, yes.
Okay. Any other discussion? No more. Roll call.
Renee,
Aye.
BJ,
Aye.
Lance,
Aye. Motion carries. Now I have is utility permit, secondary roads. I have a utility permit.
Nothing special about it.
Dark
The
fiber.
fiber line north of town. Yep,
North of where?
north of town here.
Here, okay. Is this the same form? I looked for the location and it looks different, but,
Yeah, there's a map on the back with it.
okay.
They gave it, maybe you didn't get the map.
Yeah, it doesn't show up very well.
Anyway, it's at the, take D41 here north of town by the training school and right around that curve
Okay,
where they were pouring some concrete. So it's
okay.
just right there on that first curve.
I'll go ahead and make the motion to approve the utility permit for AFG on behalf of Unity Dark Fiber.
I'll second
UNITF.
that.
Been moved
Yep.
and seconded. Any discussion? It's UT 20030 permit number. Any other discussion? Hearing no more, all in favor say aye.
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 Carries. Secondary roads.
So yeah, we've been busy. Most of the roads are open right now. There was still a couple yesterday where the power line's down in the tree, so we've been waiting on those. But yeah, for the most part, the roads didn't get the brunt of this. It was private people. And the private citizens have done a great job helping us. I mean, they want their road open too. You drive by and they've already been out there clearing it.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, good.
It was a good community effort this round.
Good to know.
That's good to hear. It was bad to hear for the storm, but
Right. And we lost a lot of stop signs, I'm sure you've noticed. But yeah,
so we can fly right through them then,
yeah,
right?
something like that.
I
I would
was-
recommend it.
Amazed if the wind actually did this. A sign that I saw on the blacktop that goes between New Providence, the north side of New Providence and Hubbard, it was a steel post standing up, but then it was a perfect
It did that
T
to quite a few of them.
on the
Mhm.
sign on a steel post. So it goes to show the
Good
strength
times.
of the wind.
Yep.
So,
Do you have anything else for roads?
No.
Okay. Next we have is a resolution for the road vacation public hearing. We need to set a time for the public hearing, streets and alleys outside of Steamboat Rock. We tabled this last week.
Yep. Me and Joe read through it. We both said the way it's worded is fine. So,
Okay.
yeah, give Joe enough time to do the notices for the public hearing.
all right.
Those would be the suggested times.
Okay. All right, so I will make a motion to set the hearing date as August 26th at 9:05.
Been moved.
Second.
Seconded. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? You want to give a brief explanation where these roads are?
Sure. So once upon a time, they thought Steamboat Rock was going to be a metropolis. So it has been platted out way beyond the city limits on the southwest part of town. Pretty much all these parcels are owned by Randall Shore. So it's south of UU Avenue and west of the river. So you're on the very southwest edge of town. So he would like to vacate all the streets and alleys. So he's already gone through the city on their part. Then there's some that are outside the city limits for us.
Any other discussion?
Donna wanted to know if there will be.
Sure.
Okay. Any other discussion?
I think it's between city limits, excuse me, city limits and maybe Tower Rock along the bike trail there. Is that, I think that's where,
Yeah, it's
This
west,
is
that's east of the river.
It's
It's all on
east.
the west side.
oh, it is all.
Me and Joe
west.
talked about doing the east side, like doing it all, but he didn't, he was worried that what if we cause a delay and this guy
Okay,
doesn't need the delay, so
okay.
we thought
So
we'll
just
just stick with what
strictly
we
on the
got,
west. Okay,
worry about the rest later.
Yep. all right.
Any more discussion? Hearing no more, roll call.
Renee,
Aye.
BJ,
Aye.
Lance.
Aye. Motion carries. Now we have is the appointment to fill the vacancy on the Veterans Affairs Commission.
Lance? Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I would make a motion to appoint Steve Recker to the Hardin County Veterans Affairs Commission.
I will second that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? I know
I
there were
really
some.
appreciate the interest in the position, and I'm really glad to see that we have residents of our communities wanting to engage to improve the veterans affairs in Hardin County. Having talked to other county supervisors, some counties, it's like pulling teeth literally to get somebody to want to step up. And we have a very tenured Veterans Affairs Commission, and I think the work they do is very reflective of their dedication.
Any other discussion? And I know we've reviewed them, or we've had the opportunity to review them, and I think both candidates.
Right, I agree.
Any other discussion? Hearing no more, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next we have is the auditor's monthly report.
Make a motion to approve the auditor's monthly report for the month of July.
I'll second that.
Seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Carries. Now I have the recorder's monthly report.
Lance, I'd make a motion approving the recorder's monthly report as presented.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion for the month of July again?
Yes.
Any other discussion? Hearing no more, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Now I have the sheriff's monthly report.
I'll make a motion to approve the sheriff's monthly report for the month of July.
I'll second that.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries. Next I have is the COVID-19 update. Thomas, do we still have him?
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay. Morning, Thomas.
Good morning. So the COVID is continuing as it's just kind of out there. The one thing that's happening is schools have gotten most of their back to learning programs put together and getting approved. They will be receiving their shipment of PPE. They've been working, the Department of Education and Iowa Homeland Security have been working together, and the schools that requested PPE through the process will be receiving that this week, I believe is the date. It may be next week, depending on when some of the supplies come into Homeland Security. Our plan is to offload that at the Iowa Falls High School, and then all the schools will be coming to pick up their equipment, their PPE from the Iowa Falls High School, and take that back. Rocky has been working closely with the schools on their back to learn plans. I've not been in that. If you'll indulge me a minute, I'll give you a little bit on the derecho.
What is that?
The wind. Yeah, go ahead, Thomas.
All right. So as you know, you guys approved the emergency declaration on Monday. The derecho went through. Most of the damage is from on the south So if you go south of 175, even down as far as Hubbard, kind of halfway between Hubbard and 175, and make your way across the county. What's west of 65 had a lot of hail damage, and there's homes over there that had a lot of hail damage and some foundation issues. And then as you move east in the county, most of it is crop damage, and then a lot of tree damage. All of the communities have signed off on their DNR permits to be able to burn all of the debris. And I think, Lance, you got that permit yesterday, and we're going to work on that as we decided where the county was going to do debris management at. This morning, I saw that Iowa and FEMA are working together to put together the damage assessments and decide if Iowa gets a federal declaration. If that be the case, then we will have another disaster that we'll be working with in getting reimbursement to communities for the costs of their debris removal. The Iowa individual assistance is already open. So if there are individuals in the county that have damages, they can apply, and they go through the I'll have to look it up. It's the like the housing, the same people that do the Micah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
They'll be doing that, and so they'll apply to them. The outline for that is 200% of poverty level is the income guideline, and then there's $5,000 available for them to be able to take care of damages to their home. From there, then it moves to the communities and to the county. And as I get more information on that, I will send that out in emails to each of the leaders of the communities. But everybody, so I just talked to Union this morning. They have some power back, not all. And then New Providence, they worked into the night getting New Providence up so that they at least had the water tower back online, so they had fire protection. Whitten, they did not have any idea of when power for Whitten was going to be back on. But everything's opened up. Their damage assessment is done, and I want to make a public shout out to Matt and Michael with IT and with Dave and the sheriff's office. Yesterday, they went out and took the app and went to all of the homes and cities and did damage assessment of all of those homes. So our damage assessment is in and visible to the state. So we're one of the first counties that have that done, and that damage assessment is available to the state. That's all I have at this time.
Thank you. All right, let's go to public comments. Give people ability to unmute themselves.
Lance,
Yeah, go ahead, Donna.
this is Donna. The latest analysis from the CDC shows that roughly 7% of confirmed coronavirus cases in the United States are among people 17 years old and younger. Nearly 380,000 children. Iowa is also at 7%, just over 3,470. Hardin County, on the other hand, is at 21%. There has also been a 90% increase in the number of COVID-19 cases among children in the United States just in the last 4 weeks. Across the United States, 29 children under the age of 14 have died, and 142 people between 15 and 24 have died after contracting coronavirus. Even a baby as young as 6 months old has died of the virus. Many of these children did not have pre-existing conditions. There are 96 clinics in 25 countries studying the after effects of COVID-19 on a child's body. Even when the patient shows few or no symptoms, after effects can include physical, neurological, and mental effects, any of which could last for years, if not a lifetime. This disease does not stop at the lungs. It often continues to cause problems with multiple body systems, including the brain, which is still developing in a child's body. Counties and school districts know their area much better than someone living and working in Des Moines. Counties, health departments, and individual school districts need to be able to gauge conditions in their own areas instead of being forced to accept preconceived blanket demands that cover 99 counties. I urge our board and our county health department to join a growing number of towns, cities, school districts, counties, and medical and religious groups that insist a blanket set of rules cannot apply during this pandemic. I would also like to clarify a statement someone made in error at last Wednesday's meeting. Professor Hugh Pennington, Emeritus Professor of Bacteriology at the University of Aberdeen, has said, and I quote, Legionella bacteria are not carried in the nose and throat, so how could they get into the mask in the first place? They come from environmental sources and cause problems when warm water sources like industrial cooling towers, jacuzzis, or air conditioners have been poorly maintained and contaminated water then sprays into the air. Many studies and case reports regarding Legionnaires have been published over the years. I am not aware of any that say mask wearing is a risk factor for developing the disease, unquote. There has been no evidence of that radio station phone call referenced in unsourced accounts shared on social media posts in recent weeks. Legionnaires did feature in a news story connected to COVID-19 in April of 2020, when health experts warned that the bacteria that causes Legionnaire's disease could be present in the pipes of buildings that have been closed because of the pandemic. I would add that I have seen people wearing a mask so filthy, I would not touch it, much less put it near my face. It is essential to wash or change your mask at least as often as you would your underwear. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other public comments? Any other public comments? Hearing no more public comments, let's go to other business. In other business, I have reached out to all but two of the city mayors. And the consensus is that they want to follow the state guidelines and not, and I believe everybody wants the social distancing in different places. You can reach out to the mayors and get their answers yourselves. But at this point, nobody was really showing the interest large enough to write a letter of recommendation to the governor to mandate masks. And the county can still choose if they would like to do that, but I would let you know what the mayors have said. So unless one of the two board of supervisors would like to put that on the agenda at this time, I do not feel that we will do this.
And I believe our jurisdiction only
Is in the rural area.
is the rural area. And there would be few places that this would apply to in rural areas. I guess I'm not interested at this time.
EJ, did you want to comment at all?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, that's what I had for other business. From there, we could ask to recess. Before we recess, though, we're going to be talking about the temperature sensors in the courthouse and setting a policy. We'll recess to that after our department head meeting. That's before we act on that, so an action should be taken after our 1 o'clock department head meeting. So I'm asking that we recess till after our department head meeting at 1 o'clock.
Okay, I'll make a motion to recess until after the department head meeting then at 1 o'clock. It will
I'll
be
second
after.
that.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? We will have the department head meeting, then we'll reconvene.
Right.
Okay. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Motion carries, we're recessed.
Changes.
So I'm going to reconvene from our regular meeting.
Send it to the.
We had 2 items on that we need to discuss. One, we pushed back our claims for payment. Jessica did have that to us. It was in a different format, so we do have those. And so I could ask for approval of claims for payment.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims for payment this week.
I will second. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Angela, are you getting this? Okay. And then the other item was discuss possible action on policy change for entering into county buildings, courthouse, large conference room. I think after our department head, we have a few changes.
I'd rather
You want-
table that for another,
Okay.
wait for the changes or updates.
And we have some updates to make. I think there's one thing we wanted to check on as far as asking Daryl retainage, or if we have to change the other policy or stick with the 14 days. So you made a motion to, you want to make a motion?
To table it.
You want to talk about it? I can table, fail, pass.
I don't know. I just think we should table it for right now. I mean, as
Okay.
far as
Do
Darren
we
making
have it?
changes.
Well, they're, the one at the vestibule is operational.
I think they all are. Or I mean, we're using it, you mean? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. And until the policy is adopted, what should the policy, there has to be a policy, there has to be some instructions to the security people as to what is going to happen, so that at least the public knows what to expect when. That's fine. You know, but I'm just saying, we need to probably have,
We either need to unplug it and not use it, or have some rules that go.
or have
with
at
it.
least even just a minimal rule that is gonna say, if the machine says you've you're, testing over the threshold, you will be refused entry. I mean, if
I
we
think
have just a bare bones, or we don't, I'd say either have that or we don't use it yet. Because-
They've gotten instruction from our group that meets Monday mornings, which is Thomas, Dave McDaniel, and Rocky Rentz from Greenbelt Home Care, Public Health, and myself. So they've got direction from us as far as the process they're using now, which is if someone tests over, then the department, I believe the people at the door contact the department head and say this person had to reschedule. It's the only information that the department head is given or has to reschedule. They don't, or, they don't know if it's a no-show, if the person didn't show up, or if there was nothing mentioned about the temperature being over. There's nothing like that mentioned. It's just this person will have to reschedule. It's either that or it's a no-show. I don't remember which of those two statements is given to the department head. There's no mention of who it is. Well, they probably say that like your 10 o'clock or your 10:15, whatever, we'll have to reschedule, or else that schedule or that person scheduled was a no-show. I don't remember which of the two statements they're giving. I mean, I could go up and ask, but they tell them.
Is that county policy then, or is that?
It's not in writing anywhere. That's just from this.
So what you're asking is we need something from the county to direct what it will be.
If that policy is given by a group that has authority to set that policy, then there is one in place. But if that group doesn't have the authority to set that policy for the public, then the county needs to set the policy. You follow what I mean? The group that you're.
I'm not exactly sure what authority they have, but it's the group that it had a board of supervisor member, has the county sheriff, emergency management, and public health as representatives. I don't know if I don't recall if this was something that was directed to the EMA directors that this group be appointed, or
We appointed you
Yes.
to that, to make these decisions so that a meeting wouldn't have to be held, that
Right.
things could happen. So they were given authority for that, but I think now that we've had a meeting, we should probably have the authority from the board. You got to go in as far as Monday, but now that we've had our meeting, we should probably have something put in place.
and Thomas wasn't able to. He was planning to call in, but he had an emergency he had to go to in All Falls. So
So I guess from a bare bone minimum, maybe we should continue with what they're doing
until this is,
until we have a new
This is
policy.
fine.
Adopt
Finalized.
that as a temporary policy.
yes.
Yes.
And that conversation then was held probably between Thomas and Carrie Calloway as far as what procedures she would direct her people to use to.
So adopt a temporary policy that,
There's
what do
nothing,
you call your group, I guess?
I don't know if there's a specific name.
Sure.
Okay. Or maybe we should just adopt the policy. So we have something put in play that now
I don't know, Rob.
tells all
You
employees
remember
that they have to be doing this as well to enter the building,
Yes,
which is the policy you put in front of us. There were a couple changes on there that we were gonna make,
Mhm.
deleting some words, but I think overall, I think we covered it. The retainage was already in our previous policy, so that would remain the same.
Mhm.
Um, And we can always, after adopting the policy, we can always alter it next week if we had to change anything.
Mhm.
But it does give us a point, otherwise, I kind of agree, we should either unplug it or have some direction from the board as to what he is, should or should not be doing out there as far as taking their temps.
I'm just looking, no, Thomas hasn't sent any messages either, so.
Okay. Daryl, can you read what the changes you made were? I mean, we went through the policy. I don't know if we could have it printed up so Angela would have something, or. So,
I think I have the changes all made here.
number one hasn't changed.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that, so I just sent it. I think I just made them to see if they should. Can you get your email from there? Oh, I don't know, I didn't.
County shall
Sorry,
set
you
threshold temperature based on Iowa Department of Public Health or the Board of Health guidelines.
No, I still didn't get number 5 right under the employee reentry.
Any person with medical reasons. Safe distance during the waiting period. Anyone refused entry can retry once within 10 minutes of refused entry. I think that was everything.
Under the employee one, number 5, I didn't get that fixed right. It should say within 10 minutes of refused entry period. Are you able to fix that on there?
Are you following these, Renee?
I'm looking for some emails from Thomas, of course.
So
I mean,
anyone
between him and Carrie and whatever.
can retry once within 10 minutes of refused entry. I think
And
that
some of this
covers.
is- And also, just to let you know, working with the courts, Thomas has worked with Carrie Calloway and also Judge Haney. So I don't know if he'll want to contact Judge Haney about any of the changes that.
So I think from here, do you want to go ahead with this at this point or table it? Like, the motion's yours to make. This is the employee part, the public part's on the previous page.
I think I'm pretty comfortable for sure with the employee part, and then on the, they can try within 10 minutes. So currently then they'll remain as a no-show or had to reschedule. I don't know. I guess I would like to run this by everybody on Monday at our regular meeting at the EOC. The employee one I'm comfortable with. We could start that immediately as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Of course, we could always, if we do pass the public one, if we had to, we could always amend it.
On Wednesday after we can do it today and amend it on
True. So,
Wednesday if there were changes you guys would like to make.
so I would go ahead and make a motion to approve the proposed policies for the public entering the courthouse, county office building, and the jail or sheriff's office, and also the employee entry policy, which would also, would pertain to the courthouse employees, the county office building employees, and jail facility at this time.
I will second that. It's been moved and seconded, and any discussion as the machines are installed.
Correct,
So if it's not
Right.
installed at the jail, then obviously it's not going to be there yet.
right.
And this is just for the temperature. It's not the entire policy we have for coming in. This is just for the reading of
The reading of the
Well,
temperature.
it would be part of a little bit more than that.
It's not this whole,
It is.
Yeah.
But I was thinking we had some more on the other policy as far as coming in and like appointments and everything else. People make appointments. This doesn't supersede that. This is just adding to it.
right.
Is
Right.
that correct, Daryl?
Yeah, this would not, doesn't sound like it would be inconsistent with what that group has done. And this will give us a week to find out if there is any
Right.
friction between the two.
So any other discussion? Hearing no more, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. From there, I could ask for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I will second. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye.